A children's talk by the Reverend Neil Dougal, March 2016.
Boys and girls, I've got a model here. Can anybody tell me what they think is in this model here? It's going to be in the North Berwick Museum. It's a church, and there are some very clever people who spent ages and ages and ages working out all the stuff about this. And there's also some people in the high school who have made this base for it. So we've worked out that this is a church. Why would we be having a model of this church? Can you see this bit here? That's the porch that you can see just before the Seabird Centre. So that porch there is that bit there, and it's the only bit that's left. And I wanted to work out just how big it was, so I went down to that bit, and I discovered that that bit is about 5 meters wide. So this bit is 7 meters wide, so the porch kind of fitted in here, and that was just a tiny part of the whole church. So would you like to see what the church looked like on the inside? Some very clever people have made a film of what they think the church was like on the inside. So look at the screen. You've seen what it looks like on the inside. Shall I tell you what the thing which I thought about and noticed? I thought, gosh, it was so big. So what I did was I measured this church. And I discovered that this church from that end to that end is about 34 meters. And this church from end to end was 46 meters. So this church that was built between 1300 and 1500 is the biggest church that there has ever been in North Berwick, bigger than any of the other churches that there are here. And it was big because there were lots of people coming through it. Now, this church was down at the Harbour. Why would they build it at that? What do you think, Toby? And the answer is in that window. You see, a long time ago, in the 1300s to 1500s, the busiest part of North Berwick was the harbour. Because in the Middle Ages, lots of people passed through North Berwick because they were going to St Andrews as pilgrims. And they came to North Berwick to get in a boat to go across to Fife because that was the quickest way to get there. So the busiest place in North Berwick was down at the harbour, and they built this church so that all the pilgrims could come through it. In the 1500s, that church began to collapse. This was called St Andrew's Church, and when it collapsed, they built a second church. Go along that way, on Kirkports, there's a ruin there. That's the second St Andrew's Church. This church that we're in now, they decided that they would be really original. What do you think they called this church? They called it St Andrews, that's right. The Blackadder bit came in 1989, so it's St Andrews Mark I, St Andrews Mark II, St Andrews Mark III. The thing is that we are here in this church. We're standing in this line of people who live or come to North Berwick and worship God here. And we're trying to do in this place exactly the same thing as the people were trying to do in that place.
In the 15th century, it is estimated that about 15,000 pilgrims pass through North Berwick each year, giving an average of over 40 pilgrims every day.